In this bowl, I have almond flour and my homemade pesto. So I'm gonna stir this together, and this will keep it really juicy. So instead of using breadcrumbs, I'm using almond flour. And it's gonna all bind in with the pesto to really flavor it. And then for the meat, I like using 1 pound ground beef and 1 pound ground pork. I like the combo of these. You could just use all ground beef, but I like the added fat and flavor from the pork. And it is still Butcher Box ground beef for life if you guys haven't signed up yet. Here in my mixing bowl, I've added the ground beef and ground pork, and this is the almond flour mixed with the pesto. I also added in 2 eggs, some dried basil, some salt, and then this is onions and garlic that I cooked in some olive oil. So I like to use a potato masher to go in and mash this all together and get it mixed up. I think I'm gonna need 2 hands for this. Here is the meatball mixture all mixed up. So over here I have my rimmed baking sheet. I put on parchment paper for easy cleanup, and then I set in the wire rack. I like to make the meatballs on the wire rack so that way the fat drips down and the meatballs get really crispy. If you don't have a wire rack, you can still make it on just straight on the baking sheet. I just like really crispy meatballs, so it works better. So now I'll use this large cookie scoop to scoop out the meatballs, and I love using this because this way all the meatballs will be the exact same size, so they'll cook at the same time, and it's also really easy. Like, so far I haven't had to touch the meat one time with my hands, so this is my no mess way to make meatballs. They're all scooped out, and it made exactly 24, so I love when that happens. It all fits on the one rimmed baking sheet. So now these just in the oven, really easy. For the noodle, I'm using my absolute favorite keto and Whole30 friendly noodle. It's this Hearts of Palm pasta by Natural Heaven. It is so keto friendly. It's just 2 grams net carbs per serving. The only ingredient in it is Hearts of Palm, so that's why it's okay to have on Whole30. All you have to do is, I'll show you, you just open up the packet and you'll add it in with your sauce and then warm it up for 4 minutes. So I'll add it to a skillet with the pesto to warm it up. So good. I have my skillet. I just turned it on to medium heat and I added the pesto into the skillet, and this is what the Hearts of Palm looks like. I just cut the bag open. You don't even need to drain it, so I'll drop it here into the pesto and then stir this around and warm it through for 4 minutes. So it's gonna be so yummy. And then over here I'm making my kids regular pasta. They will eat the Hearts of Palm, but I save this for me and Sean, and I just give them some good organic spaghetti. Been 4 minutes and the Hearts of Palm is all heated up with the pesto. This is the closest I have been able to find to pasta that is keto friendly. Oh, time for the kids pasta. That is keto friendly and Whole30 friendly. It is so amazing. This has like changed my life. It's made pasta dishes so much better. Here are the meatballs fresh out of the oven. You can see how like crispy and golden brown they've gotten. But here's why I like the wire rack. You can see all this fat down here that spilled off. This would have made them soggy, but since they're on the rack, they've gotten nice and crispy. Here are the meatballs fresh out of the oven. You can see how like crispy and golden brown they've gotten. But here's why I like the wire rack. You can see all this fat down here that spilled off. This would have made them soggy, but since they're on the rack, they've gotten nice and crispy. Here it is done. It's so good. So I added on the Hearts of Palm pasta. My favorite part, you can see this pasta is not soggy at all. And the meatballs are so good. I topped it with a little more pesto and then some basil from my garden. These have so much flavor. Here is how I'm serving it to my kids. So they get the meatballs and then pesto dip, and then I gave them bell peppers, some raspberries, and then I just made them regular spaghetti. Tossed in the pesto, and I topped theirs with a little Parmesan. They love these meatballs, and it's such a great way to get my kids to eat red meat.